Reject your modern Core XY printer and return to Bedslinger. That, at least, is what Bambu Labs is doing this year. I think at this point, we're just kind of going back to 2020, to the year of big Bedslinger printers. So I'm gonna go get my 30 CR10s and put them back in my basement. But seriously, Bambu Lab is launching an interesting printer, to say the least, a big Bedslinger. Now, Bambu did send us this printer to test and review, but we are not sponsored by it. So you're getting my raw thoughts and opinions while I try and answer two major questions. Who is this printer for, and is it worth it? Well, it's a day that ends in Y, so Bambu is currently in some hot water again for another controversy. We feel like we should talk about it at the start of this video. It's time for sending takedown notices and legal action against an open source developer. You don't get to do that. You don't get to build a whole ecosystem off of open source code and then try and gatekeep it. There's lots of channels out there that are covering it more in depth than I ever could. So we're just gonna focus on the printer, but do let me know in the comments how it affects you. Do you care at all? Are you done with Bambu printers? Let me know your thoughts. This new Bambu printer is the A2L. As its name suggests, it's essentially a larger A1 printer, type of big brother, with a mix of features that we've seen from the H series. Now, the base price of the printer is set at $469. Nice. And the AMS Lite combo at $569. Also nice. Jokes aside, that's not a bad price for this size of printer, especially if it has the Bambu quality that we're used to. I see it's similar in price to like the Elegoo Neptune or some of the other Anycubic Cobra printers. And out of the box, it's very much what you'd expect from Bambu. Packaging is always great, and the instructions are pretty straightforward and easy. It's a little bit weird putting together another Bedslinger in 2026, but I do like how the modern Bedslingers have their gantry system plugged directly into the base. We've seen this with the A1 series and some Anycubic printers, but it's always nice to see this in the design. What's also new in the structure is the inclusion of granular dampeners, which are materials used to cut down on vibration. This, combined with the new adaptive vibration compensation tech in the printer, means that when this big build plate is swinging around, it should be more stable. The things around it though, however, well, we'll touch on that later. And regardless of what your significant other says, size does matter. And this printer definitely has it, with a 330 by 320 by 325 millimeter build volume, very similar to the H2S. So pretty competitive in price. On paper, it has solid features, and it's ideal for cosplayers because we love printing things in one piece. Cutting up parts to fit on smaller printers or parts with a bunch of seam lines just make more work for us in the end. When we're sanding and filling, we have to try and hide all of those seam lines as best we can, and a larger printer helps us avoid a lot more of those seam lines. And it's the same height as the H2D, so we know we can print a full Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet, one of the bigger ones, on a printer like this in one piece. If you're unfamiliar with us here at Galactic Armory, we're not the type of makers who throw on some benchies or some other small tests or torch tests or things like that. Here we print big things, full armor sets, life-size statues, so our first test is always a full-size helmet. So we threw this CowBoy Mando helmet on. We did it in full color. We printed it with two AMS2 Pros using the 6-pin connector in the back. The top got a little bit messed up, primer tower fell over, but hey, it's a good print. The next thing I wanted to print was something small, intricate, and very annoying. So I printed a little Jamie. Huh? Not really, I ran out of red filament. What I did print though is a little 1/6 scale Arbiter figure. Now these are normally for resin printing because they have an insane amount of details, or if you're like us, we scale these up 600% and print them life size. But I really wanted to test that vibration dampening technology to see if it could capture all the little details on this guy. So it looks like the new vibration tech did a pretty good job. We did have some little support failures on the bottom side here, but overall this is a pretty dang good figurine. I don't think I even want to know. How long did it take to get the supports off?
30 minutes.
Ugh. I'm glad I got people for that now. However, this thing was shaking pretty crazy. It might just be because we're used to the Core XY printer motion, but this thing was going wild. Now you already saw our CowBoy Mando helmet in multicolor, but we wanted to run another multicolor print test, this time using the AMS Lite that came in the combo set. Now we haven't really used the AMS Lite before, we've only used AMS Pros, but it's a great little way to get into multicolor printing on a budget. For the A series, it hooks directly into the back next to the 4-pin jack. We printed this a quick little tube color, a silk silver, and a matte black tie defender, and took about 8 hours. This kit card is on the Galactic Armory Patreon, by the way. Now, the vibration of the printer did give us a couple of problems that we're gonna talk about later, but right now I wanna talk about an interesting part of the printer, the modules. So you can get 2 modules for the A2L, your cutting and your drawing module. These units combined would form what you get from like a Cricut or a Silhouette. So very good value there. Got an adhesive base with a tool head that you can perform the movements, and you can do all of this inside the Bambu Studio suite to cut or draw to your heart's content. And the price, in addition of $69. Nice, that's 3. So ultimately, what are my thoughts on the A2L? Well, it's not exactly something I would necessarily buy. And if you're already printing, this printer is probably not for you. It does have a lot of the features that we like in our H series printers, but once you get an enclosure, it's hard to go back to an open style printer like this one. I could see it worth it if you're upgrading from an A1 or an A1 Mini, or if you really just want to get a Bambu, feels like the high end of their low end printers. My biggest gripes about the printer, the first one's kind of minor. It's that the startup sound is ridiculously loud.
That's loud. That's a little too loud. The ears.
The more serious gripe that we had is that the anti-vibration compensation of the printer instead translates that vibration to everything around it. The printer itself does not vibrate very much, but the table that it's sitting on can vibrate a lot. And what it would do was it would vibrate this AMS closer and closer until eventually it collided with the gantry of the printer. That could cause all sorts of print failures and issues with a printer if it's not properly set up. However, I do think the target audience for this kind of machine and modules are for people who haven't really taken the plunge into the hobby yet and are looking for a modest entry cost. Unfortunately, this studio is packed with experts who have been 3D printing and prop making for years.
Tyler, this is the worst unboxing I've ever witnessed.
You need help? It's different. Oh.
All except for one. Ray, our director of photography, what do you think about this printer?
When I first got here, the first printer I messed around with was an H2C. That was the first interaction I ever had with 3D printer, and it was scary. I saw the A1, that felt a lot more approachable because there's a lot less going on with it visually. The A2 shows up, and it really is just like a huge version of that. And because of that, I feel like it's much more approachable.
Did you like the printer? Like using it, watching it?
No, honestly, did not like the printer literally because of how much it moved. 6 months ago, before I ever walked into this building, I would have said this is a good printer and I can see myself using it. Because I've been around other printers and I can see their capabilities.
It's not baby's first printer, it's like toddler's first printer or big boy's first printer. It's not professional, but it's the high end of the low end, you know?
Yeah.
All right, well that's input from a non-3D printing guy. Always good to remember. A lot of us we're so engulfed in the 3D printing ecosystem that we forget what the average Joe might be thinking about printers. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, if you're gonna get a new A2L printer. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow. Go check out the Patreon if you want to print any of the files or the models that you saw in this video, plus a ton of other stuff. Get yourself an annual membership. Get my full backlog of files. I think each project came out to 15 cents. So you won't get a better deal in 3D printing anywhere. But thank you all again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.